Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, happy Friday. What a beautiful day. It looks like it's going to be really, really amazing today. I hope you guys have a great morning. Hope you have an even better afternoon and evening. Listen, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I think perhaps is something that is kind of missed in this space, in the digital asset space, in the XRP community. And I think what that I call it is, we used to call it back in the day, practice, right? It's called practice. And I really, really feel like, XRP or the team at Ripple rather, it's just, right, they just been in practice, right? I'm a big baseball fan, and I can see there's something called turn two, right? Let's get this double play. Let's make the double play, right? Infield practice. And I really feel like the Ripple team has just really been in practice. A lot of people are concerned about the price. And I'm wondering if you guys have really, really caught how if the price goes up 2, 3, 4, 5 cents one way or another, it quickly gets adjusted. Right? It quickly gets adjusted. And I just think that, both the Ripple team and the people at Ripple are, number one, having to, they have to keep the price stable to make whatever facet the market makers and market takers and liquidity providers are in the XRP ecosystem. They have to prove that they can keep that price stable. And I think that's important. I really, really think that's important. So everything that they've been doing up until this point is really it's practice, right? Okay, right, you go here, we're going to hit the ground ball to second. Second's going to throw it where? The second baseman's going to throw it to the shortstop. The second, right? And then shortstop throws it to first. It's practice for what's about to happen. And I can't see anything other than a flip of the switch, and all of a sudden there's tens, if not, there's tens of banks and or financial institutions on and using that traffic. I think there's a reason why we keep hearing the term flip the switch. I believe there's a reason why we keep hearing synchronization. I think there's the right, like digital asset investor likes to say, words mean things. And you guys, you probably checked out my video that I did about a week ago when I said that David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse tells us everything that, in the parentheses, that we need to know. We just have to pay attention, right? We just have to pay attention. And when you hear Brad Garlinghouse say, at the end of the day, utility and real world use case is going to rule the day, he's not speculating, right? He didn't just come up with something fancy to say on stage at some conference, right? At the end of the day, utility will rule the day, and that's the bottom line. And when you hear David Schwartz say the price has to be high in order for XRP to work, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So they know it, and they will do whatever is necessary. The people at Ripple and the people on board with Ripple and the people in partnership with Ripple will do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. Whether it's Ripple incentivizing the partners or not, or whether it's just Ripple, quite frankly, sharing the vision of being on the Ripple net and being involved in the XRP ecosystem means to them. Right? You gotta draw out the big picture to them. And listen, when PNC Bank I think it's the 8th largest bank in the U.S. When PNC Bank makes that announcement, I'm pretty sure that I heard Brad Garlinghouse say one of the largest banks in this country will be on the Ripple net. And please, you're right, we already know about this X-Current thing. Please don't say, well, it's X-Current, it's not X-Rapid. Yes, it is. Because when they taste the 40% savings, they're gonna want a little more. They're gonna want another taste, right? They're gonna want the 70% savings. And we already know that the things are in motion. The wheels have been turning for the banks to be able to not have to hold XRP and still be able to use XRP, whether it be through MoneyGram or whatever entity that they may put in place. Whether it be, until there's more regulation clarity, right? Whatever it is, it's going to happen. This real-time gross settlement thing is going to happen, and there isn't a company, there isn't a system that's in place that's been working on it for 4 or 5.5 years like Ripple. It's going to happen. Listen, this new asset, it's already been determined. This new asset class, that is the digital asset space, is here. Period. You can accept it or not, but it is here. And real world utility is going to be what? The financial market is always the smartest place to start with something, to make the biggest change in something. And it's the financial market. That's why this is going to be bigger. That's why it's going to be bigger than the internet. The internet boom, the .com boom. This is going to be, 20, 50 times bigger than that. We're talking about financial market. We're talking about the FX market. And listen, we all know, that Wall Street, they had to get their things together. They got to do their homework and say, okay, how can we make some money in this new digital asset space? Right? And so obviously, in the beginning, it's going to start with products that they're familiar with, like ETFs and futures contracts, of course. But you bet your bottom dollar is going to be other products that they will put on that, and they will take advantage of this new asset class. But XRP, the settlement, the bridge currency, is all up in that new system, that new financial system. Make no mistake about it. So they're practicing right now, Ripple and the Ripple team. This is just practice. You guys have heard me say that, they're gonna come at XRapid in all kinds of different ways. Testing it this way and testing it that way, testing it forward, testing it backwards, testing it sideways, right, up and down, left and right. They're gonna test that thing big time. But the whole ecosystem, right, is practicing. Right? They got to get used to this volume. They have to get used to the quantity of transactions. They have to get used to the quality. In other words, how much on the Ripple net. All of these different things. How many different entities are on the Ripple net? It's practice. They're practicing. Because, listen, that price spike, you can call it a price spike, you can call it a price set, price valuation, whatever that is. It has to happen because they have decided that this is the thing that they're going to use. It's already been. Listen, do you think that India's and all of their banks just they like Brad? They think Brad is cool. Brad's a good guy, good looking guy. Yeah, let's hop on that Ripple net. Do you think that's right? And he may be cool, and he is certainly a handsome fella, but this is about money. This is about what's coming. And the people in India, some of the smartest people in the world, on the planet, they know what's coming, and they know this is the way to do it happen, to make it happen. And however that XRP is going to be dished out, it's going to be dished out. And they have been, the Ripple team has been going around sharing the vision of about what's about to happen. Sharing the vision about what is about to take place and how they can benefit from it. Because, right, we're all tuned in into our favorite station. Everybody. Us, the banks, the governments, the central banks, and that is their favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? So you gotta go paint the picture. You gotta go share the vision. And that's what's been taking place. And every time they do it, every time the people from Ripple do it, they get a little bit better, right? Why? Because it's practice, right? It's practice for the real deal. And they're just getting started. If you know, a lot of people say they can. It's like it's easier for them to see Ripple being a massive company. You got to understand their greatest asset is XRP. Don't you think it's oddly interesting that Mr. Cattell, the man, I just think it's interesting that he is giving 30 XRP. Think about that, 30 XRP at 25 cents. He's giving 30 XRP to shareholders. Got to have 100 shares. You got to go sign up on the SBCI Trade, I believe, account. Get yourself an account. He's given XRP. What do you think that's about? Do you think we're talking about Mr. Cattell? Do you think he's giving something that he knows is going to have zero value? Right? He is saying, number one, I want anyone invested in my company to be part of this XRP ecosystem. Even if you're just holding it. But number two, he's also saying, thank you for being an investor. And this is how I'm going to reward. You think he's going to reward him with a piece of paper that is worthless? Come on. He knows. He knows. And anyone that's paying attention knows. Anyone that's paying attention knows. Now, I've heard 3 figures, 4 figures. I saw a tweet from Rachel Lee the other day about 3 figures, 3 digits or 4 digits for XRP. Why would we be doing anything at $5 or $9? Got to agree with her. I think what's going to happen, I really believe it. It's a $20 to $100 thing, and they're going to see how that affects the market. How can the Ripple and the team deal with that now? How is the whole XRP ecosystem going to deal with that price set? Because they have to know how it's going to work, how Ripple's going to deal with it, how the XRP ecosystem is going to work, and then bump it up in increments from that. 100 to 200 or 100 to 500, whatever it is. But never, rest assured, if they're dishing this out to the IMF and the IMF to the central banks, what's in it for me, says Mr. Central Bank. And the people from Ripple and Madame Lagarde has said this is what it is. And this is what it's going to be. And this is the value that it's going to have. And this is this thing over here called Kaba. You'll be able to borrow against the value, the asset that you have. You're going to clear up your debt, or at least balance, at least make the balance sheet look more appealing, right? Right? Listen to me. This is genius in motion. What Ripple is doing. There's a reason why they brought Brad Garlinghouse in. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why Chris Larson was part of it in the beginning, and he may go around doing tours, but it's a different kind of thing. Brad's a sales guy, right? Brad is the charismatic guy, the smart guy who can get the message across, right? right? Chris may be a genius, right? But there's a reason why they brought Brad in. And there's a reason why Mr. Cattell sits on the board at Ripple. Because again, Ripple is genius in motion, without question. That is what it is. And so, yeah, so they're just practicing. This is all this has been. Been practicing. They're doing the thing. They're going out there and still making things happen. I just think it's really, really interesting how strategic they have been in the different areas that they have been. One bank here, one bank there, one bank here. And it's to me, it's very strategic. Very, very strategic. And then you get this lady from the Bank of England talking about this not only synchronization, but this big bang thing that's going to happen, because there's going to be hundreds of billions of dollars a day on that real-time gross settlement system from the Bank of England. Yeah, it just to me is like, this is going to be huge. And it's gonna shock the world when it does happen. But the people at NASDAQ, they got the index, they got, they listen XRP. I mean, all this different things. They know, right? The reason why there's an index, the reason why TD Ameritrade and BAC, the New York Stock Exchange, parent company, right? International Continental Exchange. The reason why they're in this game. The reason why they're in this game is to make money. And XRP, again, is going to be all up in the financial framework that is about to take place. That is it. And when we know that the price has to be high, then they know that the price has to be high. They know it. And in the end, the masses are going to be like, oh, okay. And then some are going to be kicking themselves that they sold their XRP. And some are going to be trying to get in, trying to get some XRP. Whatever that is going to be. Like, you got to think, like, as far as long, like, a lot of people miss this sometimes, right? Like, as far as long as gold has been around. You got to think about this. For as long as gold has been around, that the world has deemed a store of value, for as long as it has been around, there are still people today that were birthed, right? Then went crawling around, and then eventually got to walking around. Went to first grade and second grade, and eventually got to middle school, right? How many people? And then eventually to high school, and eventually on to college, and eventually on to the work world, who have never, ever, 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 never, ever have owned gold. Have never even thought about it. They hear on the news. They get financial people telling them this and that and that, and they still have not purchased any gold. You got to get that. And that's going to be the same thing with in the digital asset space. Then it's going to be the same thing. That XRP is going to be at a certain price. 3 digits, 4 digits, and in my opinion, eventually 5 digits. And they're going to be people who will never own any of it. Ever. That's just the way it is. That's just how the world works, right? Never own any precious metals, right? People walking around never own any precious metals. Never, ever purchase individual stocks or ETFs or whatever, or any of that, right? Just the way the world is. So don't get it twisted, right? Just because we're in this space and we're early, we know. Look, and it's just going to be people who just don't get it, and just that are going to just, quite frankly, miss out. We can do our part. We can share with our boys, share with our dudes, try to turn people on to it, right? We all been through that thing. Right? It's just kind of the way it works. It's the same way in business too, right? Business guy, I'm a business guy, right? Try to share something with some people, right? Go to your family first, right? They like, nah, I'm good, right? Right? So, what I do, I go around and help other people get to that, that 6-figure gig income, right? But not family, right? Because family didn't see it. Family didn't see it. That Friends didn't see it. That's just how it works. I try to turn my boys on XRP. They're relying on what is that? 401ks. They're relying on TSP to save them. That's trouble. My opinion. That is trouble. Right? Big trouble, as we used to say back in the day when I was running around playing pool. That's big trouble. So that's just kind of the way it is. Some people aren't going to get it. Some people are just not going to own XRP. Even within the digital asset space, there's going to be some people just don't own XRP. They're going to own Veritasium, if you know what I'm saying. It's just going to be some people who don't own the greatest digital asset ever created. That's just the way it is. So never ever think, that thought of, oh my God, they are not going to let all of us become millionaires. No, there isn't an all of us. There's always the 1%. There's always the 1% of the 1% who get it. It's always that way. And it's never going to change. It's never going to change. It's never going to change. And the only way it can incrementally get better is by us leveling up our financial IQ so that we can articulately make an argument, express ourselves articulately, and hopefully someone listens and gets it. That's the only way. That's why I have the YouTube channel. That's why I have a YouTube channel. To hopefully, open someone's mind and have them go out and do some due diligence. That's why I love the XRP community, and all of, the content creators here. It's important, whether it be Hodor or Galvatron, whether it be Status. He has a great site, status.hr. Whether it be Crypto Eddie, who is the one. She is the one. Let me tell you. Or his backup Brad Kimes, whether it be the modern investor, who quite frankly is the truth. Like, that dude's channel is outstanding. Doesn't get enough credit in my opinion. The modern investor, TMI. Right? That's the best that we can do, is to try to educate the masses and incrementally make a change, make a difference. That's the best we can do. But just understand that this whole thing, in my opinion, has just been practice. From the Ripple team, in my opinion. Just been practice. But they're about to get to the batter's box. They're up. They've been in the batting cage, taking some swings, right? Get some curveballs and fastballs. They've been up there, taking their swings, taking their cuts. Right? They've been practicing for the real game. For the real game. And it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'm just wondering how they're going to keep employees over there at Ripple. I'm just wondering how they're going to keep people around, because surely somewhere in that plan of theirs, where benefits plan, retirement plan thing, XRP is in it. Surely that is the case. So we shall see how that goes. Yeah, maybe it won't be so hard, right? Because people are they're going to be clamoring for jobs at Ripple or Xspring or whatever, all of that stuff, right? So just think about what we're a part of, man. I just think, wow. We hold the greatest digital asset ever created, and they want it. And they need it. They need that price to be high to make this whole system work, to save, in my opinion, right? What's the word I want to say? That, right, this to be a large part in helping solve the global economic crisis. XRP is going to be, and Ripple is going to be a large part of that. It's going to be a big reason for why that happens. Because the world is not going to come to an end. We may be in a recession, and CNBC may be in a couple months telling the world that we're in one. And a couple months late, 90 days late, because we are in one. And the world's not going to come to an end. It's right. We are going to just, especially the U.S. of A, we're just going to pivot. The great nations, right? They're just going to pivot. Right? Okay, plan A didn't work. What else we got? That's how it works. We're not going to come to ruins. The world's not going to end. And this new digital asset class is just going to be another way, right, for the banks and the governments of the world to screw things up, to screw it up. But on the ways to, on the way, we can all make a lot of money. We could be the ones who are prudent and are smart with our money, make smart, prudent moves with our money. That's why I always say, guys, you got to level up your financial IQ. You have to. You don't want to be like the lottery guys. You do not want to be like the lottery winners. You don't want that to happen where you get all this money, you spend it on $2 million Lambos. What? Why? And Bugattis. What in the world for? I can get the Ferrari Portofino. I get that. I can get the Porsche Cayman S. I can get that. I mean, it's $100,000. A couple $100,000. But 1 and 2 mil for an automobile. Yeah, I don't know about that. You better be in the hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars. Before you start talking about that. But you got to level up your financial IQ, guys. If you haven't read Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, I suggest you read it. If you haven't checked out Real World Finance, is it Real World? What is it? Real Vision Finance, I think it's called. Real Vision Finance. Good channel. I've been watching that for a while now with Raoul Paul. You got to check that out. You got to level up your financial IQ. You have to be prepared for what's about to happen. So if you haven't read Money Master the Game, you might want to get that book. It's a great read by Tony Robbins. It's a great read. If you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, and quite frankly, all of his books, at least 80% of his books, you want to read. It gets your mind right. Even though some of the stuff is outdated, it gets your mind right about what's going on. If you haven't checked out that Rich Dad Poor Dad channel, you might want to check it out. And then again, with everything that you do, you apply the principle of discernment. Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to grab that and snatch that up. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That's kind of old. And let that one go. You got to educate yourself, guys. Big time. Level up your financial IQ. Let's level up our XRP IQ. And let's level up our digital asset space IQ. We got to know. We have to be in the know. It's important. Because this is a long game. This is a long game. And so it's not about just getting the wealth. It's about keeping the wealth. And in order to do that, right, we got to level up our IQ, guys. And know what we hold. Know what we hold in XRP. Right? If you haven't already, definitely, look to get into the Investment Perspectives Telegram chat group. It's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. You may have to wait list, right? Because they open that up and they close it right back up. Right? So there's over 1,000 people on that thing. But you definitely want to get in that, because it's talking about leveling up your financial IQ and especially your XRP IQ. That is the place. And check out Backup Brad Kimes' channel. I think it's called Investment Perspectives on YouTube for sure. So many great people in the community. Jungle Eats awesome. I like his stuff. I like his stuff. Right? Digital asset investor, awesome. But level up your XRP IQ, guys, is important. Because we want you guys to not only have the wealth, but to keep the wealth. That's the key. That is the thing. Because this is a generational thing. This is a generational change. This is an opportunity to change the legacy of your family. That's right. That's where we are. And like my dude Carl Wagner says, I love it every time I get to take that fiat dollar and put it into the digital asset space. I get excited about that. So I hope you guys got your cash flow right. Right? Hope you got your cash flow right. And I told my girlfriend, like, look, it doesn't matter when when the digits come in, and they will come in, we're never stopping the cash flow thing. Always going to keep always going to keep multiple streams of income coming in. Always. Because the cash flow is what allows you to save up and invest. Always keep the cash flow going, without question. So whether that be real estate or whatever the other kind of thing is going to be, you're going to have multiple streams of income, without question. Check out the YouTube channel, World King. Yeah, hook up on some of those I am affirmations. Check out the YouTube channel, VYBO. Visualize yourself beyond ordinary. So that you can prepare. You got to be prepared for about what's to happen, without question, guys. So anyway, listen, I've been rambling on. There's a lot more traffic today than normally. I'm guessing because it's the Labor Day weekend here in the States. Is probably why that is. So anyway, guys, listen, never ever forget this, guys. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. The digital asset space is our chance to win. This is our chance to win, guys. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. That the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Let's go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.